We'll start our coverage this morning from Punjab, which is going to polls in a single phase. Voting currently underway in all the 117 assembly constituencies in a fierce multi-cornered fight. Congress, AAP, Akali Dal, BSP Alliance, the BJP, PLC, Akali Dal, Sanyukt and the Sanyukt Samaj Morcha, a political front of the farmer bodies, are in the fray today. While the Congress has come under fire for the drug menace and corruption, it is banking on reducing power tariff and on the Dalit credentials of Chief Minister Channi, who's speaking at this moment to my colleague Supriya Bhardwaj. Let's go across straight to the Punjab Chief Minister.
कि अगर आपको वन लाइन में सम अप करना हो पूरा जो जर्नी आपकी रही, आप बहुत पीएचडी भी हैं, आपने पीएचडी भी कर रखी है, सबसे ज़्यादा पढ़े लिखे आज की डेट में देश के मुख्यमंत्री हैं, वन लाइन में या कुछ कपलेट्स हों जिसमें आप सम अप करना चाहें अपनी पूरी जर्नी?
ऐसा है कि मैं पंजाब के लोगों से कहना चाहता हूं कि बड़ी मुश्किल से रजवाड़ा महाराजे के घर से गाड़ियां लेकर आए हैं। अब ये गरीब घरों में आई हैं। मिडिल क्लास के लोगों को एक आशा हुई है, एक गरीब किसान को आशा हुई है। पंजाब के लोगों, ये मौका दोबारा नहीं मिलेगा। इस मौके को संभालो और मुझे कृपा करो, आगे वाला समय दो। जैसे मैंने 3 महीने पूरी मेहनत, लगन, ईमानदारी से काम किया है, मैं 5 साल आपके लिए काम करना चाहता हूं। आज मुझे आज का दिन दो आप, मैं आपको 5 साल दूंगा।
तो ये थे पंजाब के मुख्यमंत्री चरणजीत सिंह चन्नी जी हमसे बात करते हुए। कैमरा पर्सन अभिषेक के साथ में सुप्रिया भारद्वाज, आज तक, चमकौर साहब।
तो ये पहले was Supriya Bhardwaj talking to Chief Minister Channi. Joining us at this time from Amritsar East is my colleague Kamaljeet Sandhu. Remember, it is in Amritsar East that you got this big battle on at this moment between Bikram Singh Majithia, representing the Akali Party, versus Navjot Singh Sidhu from the Congress, who's had to apologize for being an absentee MLA. With us is Manjeet Saigal from Lambi. Lambi is the Badal bastion. And we've got Ashutosh Mishra joining us from Patiala. Patiala is where Captain Amarinder Singh is fighting to save his prestige and to teach the Congress a lesson. Let's go across first to Kamaljeet Sandhu, because it is in Amritsar East where, make no mistake, the most high-profile battle of the big battle in Punjab is being fought. What's the general sense that you're picking up, Kamaljeet, from voters in this mega prestige battle between Sidhu and Majithia?
Well, Rahul, you rightly put it. The fiercest battle of Punjab is being fought in the hotly contested seat of Amritsar East. We are in Bikram Singh Majithia's residence. We've been told he's engrossed in prayers, and after which we'll just try and show you the flags being kept here, the staff being out, the car has been made ready. So we do expect that in a short while from now, he's expected to come out. Now, remember, as far as Navjot Singh Sidhu is concerned, this is his turf, because Amritsar East is where he's been contesting from. In 2012, it was his wife. In 2017, it was him. Earlier, the wife stood from BJP. And now in 2017, it is Navjot Singh Sidhu. Majithia, on the other hand, has left his own bastion of Majitha and is contesting there. Now, as far as the battle is concerned, we know that he's actually swept away 3 of the Congress councillors out of 15 and making a big deal out of it. But many say between the battle of the Sardars, the issues have been forgotten. And we just spoke to Jeevan Jyot of the Aam Aadmi Party, says that we will fight issue-based elections while these are battling it out for prestige. So this is about Nak and Sak. Meanwhile, on ground, it seems things are rather tough because Sidhu has to deal with anti-incumbency. There are issues. Now, what the Congress is cleverly trying to do is pit in 3 months of Charanjit Singh's leadership rather than 4.5 years of Captain, which was also under the Congress party. So clearly, the battle lines are drawn, but Bikram Singh Majithia faces an uphill task because this is not his turf. But yes, he's thrown in the challenge which was taken, thrown in by Navjot Singh Sidhu, and he, on the other hand, has given up his own bastion, Majithia, where Ganivi Kaur, his own wife, is fighting, and he has moved to this particular turf, and it's going to be very important. Is it going to be Congress or the Shrimani Akali Dal on this particular seat? Or
Navjot Singh Sidhu has been a thorn in the neck of, thorn in the side of Majithia has been a thorn for Navjot Singh Sidhu for the longest time. It's been a very, very personal battle. There's a lot of animus between the both of them, and this is a big challenge now. Who will win? Lots at stake. I want to go across to the Raj Mahal in Patiala. We've got Ashutosh Mishra joining us from Captain Amarinder Singh's plush palace. Ashutosh, give our viewers a sense of the mood in the Amarinder camp this morning, right ahead of polling in a battle where he's walked away from the Congress, allied with the BJP. Many people in Punjab not happy with that particular decision of Captain Amarinder Singh. What's the general mood that you're picking up from the palace in Patiala?
Good morning, Rahul. And this, the historic gun, the cannon and the royal palace, the heritage palace, that reminds the legacy that Captain Amarinder Singh forwarded. But when it comes to the politics, right after entering in the Congress, the biggest challenge was to ensure that Congress remain in power in the state of Punjab. And in 2017, the interesting battle when there was a new party in the fray, and despite that successfully penetrated Malwa region, Captain Amarinder Singh in his own turf, Patiala district, ensured 7 out of 8 assembly segments gone to the Congress party. At the same time, ensured mega marginal victory for the Congress in the state of Punjab. And of course, that was the PK factor. That was, a campaign, positive campaign by the Congress party, promising dreams to the people of Punjab. But in over 4.5 years, the accusation that was leveled against Captain Amarinder Singh, that he was inaccessible total, and that led to the anti-incumbency against the rural current dispensation, and that perhaps forced the Congress party to change the leadership, and then we have a Dalit phase. When it comes to Patiala, Captain Amarinder Singh, the big is going to be the battle for the prestige, because he has not only to save the bastion to his own turf Patiala, but at the same time, since its alliance with the BJP, and the BJP that also faced anger during the farmers' agitation, the anti-incumbency factor, now that makes really a challenging turf for Maharaja of Patiala to ensure victory in his own bastion. At the same time, ensure maximum number of seats across the state. He has campaigned hard, but the accusations and the opposition that often claims he was inaccessible, that really makes it challenging for him. He'll be arriving here shortly, maybe in 30 minutes, and then we'll put up some more questions. Of course, it's going to be a significant day, an important day for the Maharaja of Patiala. Rahul.
Is in some senses a grudge match for Captain Amarinder Singh, because he was unceremoniously ousted as Chief Minister of Punjab. Didn't like that one bit. I want to welcome also at this time Manjinder Singh Sirsa, spokesperson of the BJP, long-time Akali leader who moved to the BJP before these elections. He's joining us this morning. Gaurav Bakshi joins us. He's an activist, analyst, leans towards the Aam Aadmi Party. Mr. Sirsa, Sat Sri Akal, good morning. Welcome. Your sense of what's at stake for the BJP in these elections? The BJP had a tough time going into campaigning in Punjab because of the farmer protests that rocked through the state. What really is at stake for the BJP in a state where it's really been a marginal player in past elections?
Rahul, first of all, why BJP was marginal partner? Reason being, Punjab में जिस तरह से हालात बिगड़े, and the sole purpose of BJP was there to have a unity of Hindus and Sikhs. हिंदू सिख का मसला दोबारा ना खड़ा हो, इसलिए बीजेपी एक छोटे से पार्टनर की तरह बिना किसी पावर के भी अकाली दल के साथ अलायंस में रहे, और वो अलायंस सेकुलर अलायंस, और वो अलायंस अमन शांति के लिए बहुत एक पुख्ता और कामयाब अलायंस हुआ. शायद लोग ये जरूर भूल जाते हैं कि तब भी हमारा बीजेपी के तौर पर अर्बन वोटर था, अकाली दल का रूरल वोटर था. आज भी बीजेपी का अर्बन वोटर है. बीजेपी वो पार्टी है जो 23 में से 19 सीटें जीती थी. अब याद रखना, 23 में से 19 सीटें, और सारी अर्बन की सीटें थी. तो ऐसा नहीं है, ये ठीक आपने कहा, बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज था एक, क्योंकि किसानों में एक बहुत गुस्सा था. जब प्रधानमंत्री जी ने वो तीनों कानून वापस लिए, उसके बाद लोग रियलाइज करना शुरू हुए. इसलिए आप ये जरूर आपको समझने की जरूरत है कि आज वक्त बदल गया है. लोग समझ रहे हैं कि अगर हमें पंजाब को खुशहाल रखना है, कर्जा मुक्त करना है, नशा मुक्त करना है, बेरोजगारी मुक्त करना है, गैंगस्टर मुक्त करना है, तो एक ही सरकार है जिसका कोई अपना निजी स्वार्थ नहीं है, कोई निजी लोभ लालच नहीं है. वो है डबल इंजन की सरकार मोदी जी की. अगर सरकार आएगी तो ही पंजाब को खुशहाल बना पाएगी. तो आई थिंक वोटर विल नॉट जस्ट वोट फॉर अ चेंज, बट ऑल्सो फॉर द चेंज which could gain, Punjab can gain out of that change, That is the mood of the people of Punjab right now, what I myself feel.
Okay, I want to go across to Manjit Saigal, who's in Lambi, which is the bastion of the Badals. There's a lot of anger against the Akali Dal, manifested in the ultimate results in 2017. How formidable do the Akalis look? Not just in Lambi, which is their home turf, but across the state. You've spent all your time in Punjab, traveling through the state. Are the Akalis a formidable force? Are they bouncing back, or is there a general sense that the anger still continues from 2017 into 2022 as well?
Well, Rahul, as you said, that Lambi happens to be the pocket borough of the Badals, but the biggest challenge before Badals is to regain the stronghold in the entire Malwa belt. Remember, till 2012, Malwa happens to be the stronghold of the Badals, but in 2017, Akali Dal lost near 38 seats and was able to win just 8 seats in Malwa region. All we know is this Malwa region, victory in Malwa region paves the way for forming a government in Punjab. However, the Akali Dal has significantly improved in 2 regions, that is Majha and Doaba regions this time. But still, there is a big challenge to regain the stronghold in the Malwa belt, as Aam Aadmi Party had seriously dented Akali Dal in 2017 by winning 18 seats. So this time, the focus of the parties is in Malwa region, and Akali Dal is also trying its luck very hard. But Akali Dal is also facing many challenges, like the baggage between 2007 to 2017, when many issues cropped, like the sacrilege issue, the issues of the empty coffers, besides the unemployment. Besides this, the Akali Dal is also overshadowed by the image of senior Badal, who is contesting elections at the age of 94. So Akali Dal is trying its luck hard, but the competition is very tough, Rahul.
Harmeet Singh Shah joins us. He's our senior editor, has been traveling through Punjab through this campaign. Harmeet, from about the end of the 90s, Punjab has been a battle between Congress on the one side, which stitches its own rainbow coalition, versus an Akali BJP alliance. For the first time, we're seeing a farmer party at play, the Aam Aadmi Party strengthening its roots. We're also seeing the Akalis hoping to bounce back, and the BJP contest independently along with Captain Amarinder Singh. What's the larger dynamic in a historical context of how this particular election is different from what Punjab has seen over the last 2.5 decades?
Well, the biggest thing that is happening, that is going to happen in this election, is the victory margins are going to be really, really thin, because you have 5 contestants, 5 big political contestants in the fray. You have on the one side cadre-based parties like the Congress, the Shiromani Akali Dal, and to an extent Aam Aadmi Party in terms of cadre. And on the other side, you have a coalition of BJP, Captain Amarinder Singh, and Himsa. So, and then there is a smaller player which does have some pockets of influence, which is this Sanyukt Samaj Morcha there, which is the Kisan's party. So the victory margins are going to be really thin, because it's a settled affair that the votes are going to split between the parties. In that sense, this is going to be this is a unique election which has happened since 1997, when the Badals and the BJP came together and split up last year over the farm laws. So in that sense, of course, you see that AAP has made a lot of inroads in the political battle, like 2017. At the same time, you also have Sanyukt Samaj Morcha, which is less vocal, but it does have pockets of influence in small villages where there's a population of, say, 400 families, 500 families, or say 1,000 families. So there you cannot rule out the role of the Sanyukt Samaj Morcha, especially in the Malwa belt.
Ashpreet Singh Khadial joins us from the Congress. As I traveled through Punjab, the one overwhelming sense I picked up was a yearning for change. Do you think, Mr. Khadial, that desire for change, you're hoping that change can be manifested by projecting Charanjit Singh Channi as your chief ministerial candidate and saying, we are the change you are seeking? Voters desperate for change, could that prove costly for the Congress in this election, Mr. Khadial?
Not at all. In fact, the change Aam Aadmi Party was trying to sell was to divide Punjab from all over the country. They wanted Punjab to be an independent state, and Mr. Kejriwal, as has been exposed by Mr. Vishwas, wanted to be the Prime Minister of that Azad Punjab. They sought the support of Khalistani supporters in 2017, and there was NRI funding involved. He stayed at the house of a Khalistani Liberation Front's head, and Gul Panag has exposed Mr. Kejriwal, Alka Alaba has exposed, Kumar Vishwas has, Yogendra Yadav, Prashant Bhushan, Ashu Bangar, Saurabh Jain, so many leaders. So Aam Aadmi Party stands exposed.
Don't you think it sounds a bit desperate just before polling for Congress and BJP to be singing the same tune against the same enemy?
See, if in case somebody commits a crime in front of all four panelists that are sitting here in this debate, we call that wrong or wrong, right? There would be no difference in opinion. It's clear as day. So second of all, about the BJP and the PLC, I won't say much about them because they are non-players in these elections. As far as Shomni Akali Dal is concerned, they have great merit. And the merit is that Mr. Badal has given 5 tickets in his family. And second merit is that while Punjab was suffering and the exchequer of Punjab was suffering back in the day when they were in power, his businesses were booming and growing. There were Sukh villas, his buses grew, his transport companies grew, his TV channels grew, and so much grew, which was only concerning Mr. Badal. So as far as Congress party is concerned, we have made sure that what no other party could do in 70, 75 years, we have done that.
Okay, Mr. Sirsa, this is the grenade that's being flung the Aam Aadmi Party's way right before polling. The Kumar Vishwas Khalistani grenade, as it were. Are you hoping this will stick? Because Kejriwal saying, "Dekho ji, main to pehle hi bolta tha, sab mile hue hain ji, they've ganged up against me." The BJP and the Congress, they're singing the same tune.
Rahul, it is not the first time that Arvind Kejriwal used this word कि सब लोग मिले हुए हैं जी. This is the same person जो ये बोलने के बाद कुछ दिन बाद जाके माफी मांग लेता है. May it be Arun Jaitley or Bikram Singh Majiti or many others in line. So the question is, don't you think so that this situation of anti-Punjab or a situation where people feels कि नहीं ये कल को पंजाब सुरक्षित नहीं होगा, it only arises when Arvind Kejriwal reaches Punjab, may it be a 2017 or may it be a 2022. The question is, why this only happens when Arvind Kejriwal is there? Because he is hobnobbing with those people. He stayed at the house in 2017 election, who was connected to a very hardliner and also a terrorist organization. Now Arvind Kejriwal saying, "ये देखिए जी BJP, कांग्रेस सब मिल गए हैं मेरे खिलाफ." First of all, सब मिलेंगे भाई, सब इकट्ठे होंगे. देश इकट्ठा है, देश एक है. जब देश के खिलाफ कोई बोलेगा तो मुझे लगता है हर देशवासी को बोलना चाहिए. अब जब चन्नी जस्ट 10 सेकंड्स, जब चन्नी के खिलाफ ये इशू खड़ा हुआ कि उसके 10 करोड़ रुपया उसके मिला है भतीजे से, तो क्या अरविंद केजरीवाल नहीं बोले? क्या अकाली दल नहीं बोली? क्या बीजेपी नहीं बोली? या संयुक्त मोर्चा नहीं बोला? सभी बोले. तो चन्नी गए जी मेरे खिलाफ सब गैंग अप हो गए हैं. अब जब बेअदबी हुई तो सब लोग अकाली दल के खिलाफ बोले, तो जी मेरे खिलाफ सब इकट्ठे हो गए.
Gaurav Bakshi, is this the X factor? The fact that you've got this allegation that's being flung, how it plays out in the minds of the voters is uncertain, but this really could muddy the waters for the Aam Aadmi Party and be this potential X factor right ahead of polling day.
Rahul, I think the first thought is that whether support to terrorists or Khalistan is being given by Arvind Kejriwal is debatable, but one thing is certain, that this is definitely terrorizing the BJP and the Congress. Much more than the impact that will have on voters. I think voters will see through this facade. What voters and citizens of Punjab care about is development. They care about issue-based discussions. They care about education, water, electricity, the MSME industries and the doldrums. They care about the support that should have been given to small businesses, which is considered the backbone of the economy. Not much has been done on ground. Jobs is a major issue. There is massive unemployment across the state. What is being done? Why is there no discussion happening on relevant aspects that matter to citizens? Corruption is a major issue. That's why the Congress will see a massive anti-incumbency is due to corruption, due to scams, the gang culture, sand and liquor mafia. These are big issues. Why are we not discussing addressing these issues and supporting good governance, improving law and order? I think this is a diversionary tactic when relevance needs to be brought in. A party which does not have much to speak about in terms of progress or in terms of issue-based constructive development. When these are lacking, it is very standard to bring out issues. In the West, we call them, or they're called dirty tricks department. So the dirty tricks department of a party will suddenly pop up and say, we have nothing good to talk about, so let's bring down the opposition.
Okay, I want to walk across to the election intelligence dashboard and show our viewers a bit of what happened in the last elections in Punjab, which really serves as the base for what may happen this time round. Remember, in Punjab, the Congress picked up 77 seats in the last elections, and which essentially means that the Congress has a lot it could potentially lose in the battlefield of Punjab. 20 for the Aam Aadmi Party, just 3 for the BJP, 15 for the Akalis, and 77 for the Congress. If we were to look at the stronghold scanner, which gives you a sense of seats that have been won by the same party in three previous elections, you will see that the strongholds of the Congress party, 32 out of 117 seats held over 3 consecutive elections, are spread across the Majha region, the Malwa region, and in parts of Doab. So it's not a party which is based just in one part of the state, it's spread across. This is consequential because the Aam Aadmi Party in the 2017 elections, whether it is in Majha or it is in Doab, did not do well in 2017. It was largely in the Malwa belt of the state where the Aam Aadmi Party did well, which raises the question, the extent to which AAP has been able to spread its wings across the state. And that, Harmeet, will be critical because it was almost as if in 2 parts of the state in 2017, the AAP was a marginal player. In one, in the Malwa belt, they were a force to reckon with. What happens in this election will determine on the extent to which AAP has been able to spread in Majha and in Doab.
Yes, absolutely right. One thing is there that, so far as the last mile connectivity is concerned, then everyone who monitors Punjab and Punjab politics closely would know that it's the Congress and the Shiromani Akali Dal which have the last mile connectivity. They have the cadre. And remember, in when elections happen, when polling takes place, there you need some cadre to escort the voters out of their houses to the polling booth. There lies the challenge. I traveled across Punjab, and for example, if there were 10 villages, then I would see AAP cadre in 2 of them and not in the rest 8. So this is a challenge for Aam Aadmi Party, especially today. You need a lot of workers on the ground to take the voters out of their houses, from their villages, to the polling booth. And that's where the challenge lies for Aam Aadmi Party.
So we'll slip into a very quick break right now. We've spoken in the first half hour about Punjab. When I come back, we'll shift our attention to Uttar Pradesh. Remember, in the first 2 phases in Uttar Pradesh, the battle was largely in Western Uttar Pradesh. Now there are some districts of Western Uttar Pradesh, also districts in Bundelkhand and districts in the Awadh region in Central Uttar Pradesh. And what happens in phase 3 is crucial to determining whether this will towards the end be a tight fight or whether it will open up in one direction. Because in 2017, the BJP swept through Yadav land. If they do the same, then there's no battle. However, if the extent to which Akhilesh Yadav is able to claw back will really determine how this battle shapes up from here. Details from Battleground, Uttar Pradesh.